Welcome everybody out to podcast number 482. Today we're going to talk about women in construction. Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well. I have a guest over here, Katie Schroeder. Please say hi to everybody.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about a subject that's like really hard to talk about. So we're just going to go ahead and get it done. Anyway, I will introduce the subject by saying that I saw a post I think it was last week, about a conference that was focused on women in construction, and I ventured a guest to comment on it and basically to say, in summary, we support you, we need you, and basically that we were here to support women in construction wherever they are because we need that. And so I've read in books, and I think it was Mindset. Have you finished reading the book Mindset, Katie?
Yes.
So Carol Dweck talks about how if you take, sorry. If minorities or women are reminded that they are minorities or women before they take a test, they do worse on the test scores. And so I'm super confused, right? We're almost about to be a women-owned business enterprise because you have such a large role as the CEO of our business. I love it when women are in business and specifically in construction. So do we say something? Do we support? Do we not? This is a tough subject. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I don't know. Let me think for a minute.
Well, okay, go ahead. No, I don't have to. I don't have to.
Well, I think
I don't want to fill the space. I'm just saying, some people say this with the word lean, the word lean has good and bad meanings. And I'm kind of the mindset of, let's just make lean, the word, mean something great. And so I'm also and maybe it's ignorant. That's why I'm asking the question. I want to make the words women in construction great.
I know. Can I clarify though? I thought she said that only matters if you have a fixed mindset. If you have a growth mindset, it doesn't matter to be reminded of those things.
So, but there you go. I'm asking. I don't remember exactly what she said.
I took it to mean that when you do have that growth mindset, that you are not constrained by, the limitations that others would try to put on you.
I'm with you. I guess what I'm saying is, even if somebody because we're all in fixed and growth mindsets different times in our lives, right? Yeah. I want it to be taken the right way either way. I've been on interviews with women on the podcast where one is like, thank you for your support. And the other one is like, hey, don't call me a woman in construction. Just call me a superintendent.
Right.
And that kind of puts, here's why I'm curious about it. We were kind of teasing back and forth about the word woke, right? People are like, oh, you woke or something like that. You're awakened to social injustice, not necessarily even to a radical point, but to a responsible point. And people have very negative outlooks. They're people who want more recognition for social justice or will make fun of somebody who's quote unquote woke. And then people who aren't aware of social injustice and are a part of the problem make fun of people that are woke. And I'm kind of annoyed because if we have this realization and we know we need to support and get to support women in construction, what the hell are we supposed to do? Do we say something or do not? And I was very appreciative of the women who responded, thanking me for my comment. And so now my point is, what do we do?
I do think that's a tricky issue. I know I've found this on the web.
Oop, my
Siri.
my right in the middle of a podcast. Well, maybe she had the answer.
She didn't. She's telling you what to drive.
Okay, sorry. Siri coming in hot.
Exactly.
Anyway, go ahead. Did I take you out of state?
No, when I saw that my charger doesn't fit the car, I got a little panic because my phone's on 1%, but it's fine. Okay, no, I was watching a show one time, and one of the women was called a female chef or something like that, and it was a chef show.
And so all of the other chefs were just chef, and she was the female chef, and it pissed her off. But when you start to think about it, I think there's women that want recognition for doing this hard thing and being in business. And then I think there's women that are like, don't need any, preferential treatment or whatever. I don't know. I think it's pretty touchy. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you.
Well, maybe we turn this into a respond back in the comments kind of a podcast, but I mean, well, let's go. So I am certain we're going to offend somebody on this podcast. And so I'm just going to lean right into it. Like, Katie has been doing a lot of research about women in religion and looking at the historicity, if that's even a word, of where did the oppression, the women aren't as good as men, Eve sinned kind of a concept come from. And I was asking you the other day about some of the sources, and I would like to touch on that. I know it's a touchy subject, but basically, like, throughout history, women, obviously because they don't have as much testosterone in their developmental years, are smaller, right? They've been put upon, tortured, abused, raped, not allowed to vote, all the bad things, right? But when you think about it, like, when you have women in teams and in leadership roles and throughout society, as is becoming more normal, they have such unique and innate characteristics, abilities, and just leadership. We need their unique perspective. And so what I'm having a hard time with is, one time, what is Sister Summers? What's her first name? Do you know? Kim Summers. So she was giving a talk at church, and like literally she said, you need the unique perspective of women. And like, I knew that was true immediately. So where I'm getting hung up with this whole thing is, if we can't specifically say we want women in construction and actually call that out, then are we throwing away the uniqueness that comes with identifying the fact that we do need women in construction?
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying we need women in construction. And the same way that you would want to diversify your team with different backgrounds and ethnicities. I think that right? I think we can encourage that. Doesn't yeah.
Go ahead. Well, I don't know if you were going this way or not, but so I'll brag about Hensel Phelps. They specifically have diversity in their core values now. And I remember 20 years ago, maybe 15, 17 years ago, they said, we are going to intentionally hire women and bring them up through the ranks. And I remember a bunch of us were like, what would you call the pampered white man?
Sexist.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I love being a white man, but it has lots of perks. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I did say it, but like we were like, oh, why do we have to have preferential treatment? What's going on? You should earn that way. But like, I look back at this and what Hensel Phelps did with so much pride, because you go to Hensel Phelps job sites, and most of the job sites, half of them are women. And these are amazing project managers, superintendents, project engineers, operations managers, vice presidents. And they are, to my knowledge, they have the largest and most diverse, how would you say that?
I don't.
They're the most diverse construction company out there. They employ more women in construction management and among the ranks and leadership positions than any other construction company. And so it kind of worked out for them to be intentional about it and to just say, we're doing this, and to specifically call it out instead of being like, don't call attention to it, don't do this, don't. So I'm kind of like looking at that like, no, we need to be more intentional about it.
Yeah, I think intentional recruiting is needed. It's interesting. A long time ago, so this is like 20 years ago, I remember I was meeting with our companies. Is it like equal? I forget.
Equal opportunity.
Yeah, the EE.
Yeah.
EEO. The EEO guy.
Equal employment opportunity specialist.
Yeah, and just remember him kind of grilling us about our company's numbers, and we were pretty diversified, surprisingly. It is surprising if you know, you know where I'm from.
Anyway, go ahead.
The point is, like, it has never left me for him to be like, no, intentionally recruit minorities and women. And I just remember thinking, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Like, how would you even go about doing that? And because we just were like putting ads out in the paper at the time, I think even.
Yeah.
So I remember just kind of puzzling with him, like, well, how would you intentionally recruit a minority? Obviously now it's like way different and there's all kinds of different opportunities to recruit, but I don't even know why I brought that up.
Well, I think the reason you brought it up is that basically what my thing is like from now on, I'm just going to be like really open and intentional. And I'll just say it, the same thing I said on the post. We need diverse teams. We need women in construction. Every time I go to a Phelps project and I meet with men and women superintendents and women and men operations managers, it's absolutely fantastic. They have a good thing going and we need more of that. And I would never even begin to understand what it would be like to be a woman in construction and to have to deal with possible catcalling and stupid remarks and all of the things. And so I'm just going to say that like we need to create safer environments, and we do that by being intentional. And I think we should just make it known that being a woman and being a woman in construction is a great thing. And that takes me to, did I interrupt you for what?
No, just when you were talking about the cat calls and the sexist comments and the discrimination that comes from being a woman, that's just like, that's not going to go away regardless of where you are. But
Okay, but if we bring awareness to the fact that it happens, it can go away. I'll give you a for instance. And if I had their podcast name, I would totally call it out. But there's like construction, or well, I don't want to say the wrong word, but there's two brothers or a couple of people. They have a construction podcast, and they're like Construction Life. It might even be the Construction Life podcast. You might Google it, or not Google it, but search it for me.
remember my phone is
Oh, it's dead. But anyway, they talk about rude stuff and catcalling women and their sexist comments, and that this is just construction life and it's a men focused industry and blah blah blah. And I was looking at this bad, but I was looking at the competitors out there for construction podcasts, and I always look at the ratings, and their ratings were horrible. And I was looking at some of the comments, and they're like, this is the most sexist, perverse podcast that I've ever heard. Or these two are like perpetuating a culture that needs to go away, and just on and on and on. And if I knew the name of the podcast and these people, I would totally call them out. And
well, we don't want them to get any more airtime. So
oh yeah, we don't want to elect them.
Exactly.
So anyway, so I just got really annoyed. Like that has to go away. And that takes me to my other point. So I need you to like dig into the drama with me here.
okay, I'm digging it.
But like,
Feel passionate.
but like back in the day, they were like, yeah, women aren't good at science and math.
No, yeah, that's true. There's not there.
No, it's true that they said that, right?
Yes. To clarify.
And that's just really ridiculous. And I just wonder how much of these stigmas have perpetuated themselves. And I want to bring up the religious point. Like, there are so many. We were watching, what's the movie we were watching? Bucket List. And they were having a religious discussion between Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman, obviously as in their character. And Jack Nicholson was like, yeah, I don't believe in God. And Morgan Freeman was like, well, you would be calling 95% of the world's population wrong. And so that got me to thinking, like, how many people take like biblical accounts and like the story of the creation. And Katie warned me before I brought this up. She was like, a lot of people believe in, word for word what happened there. But a lot of people believe that, like, if you think about the Adam and Eve story, if the Adam and Eve story ties into Judaism, Islam, Christianity, and a number of other religions, because all of them have a basis in the Old Testament. And so if you and even all of the different sects within those, like as they branch off, they all have a commonality in the Old Testament. And the creation story really, the people who have written about it have demonized Eve and her character in the garden scene. And I just wonder if some of those things perpetuate, and then we get prejudice or discriminatory against women, and it just permeates our culture. And so I did want to bring that up. So tell me about the Eve story real quick. Yeah, you just said no to me on our live podcast.
I know.
Well, okay, no, so I'm gonna say it, and then Katie's gonna like get some. So basically, here's the story. Eve was tempted by the serpent, right? Partook of the fruit, and thus came the fall of man, right? And so people have interpreted that as some sort of sexual sin, and that it was a sin, and that she was fallen and somehow subservient and like not as good as Adam. And really what we come to find out is that partaking of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil was a decision to like enact agency and our ability to learn on the earth. And it was actually a part of the plan, and that there actually wasn't anything wrong with it. And those two are parents, if you believe in, like I said, Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, like made that decision so that we could have life and progress and learn and grow. And so what at least quote some of the things that people have said. Can you quote some of the negative things that people have said?
Well, just that they deserve to be owned because they're not intelligent. This was like scholars back in the day, like anciently, that they, are no better than like animals, and that their only purpose is to, have babies and
and that they're like private property, right?
Yeah.
And
property.
And so,
we owned.
oh, sorry. And then you have all these talks about like, and then women used to not be able to vote, and it was like they're not good at science and math, and it's, they're not good at athletics, and all of these just concepts just keep getting perpetuated. And you would be surprised at how many people still think that. You'd be surprised at how many people still think that like women are, what's the word? Lesser for some reason. And I just wanted to say that if you look at it from a religious context, a creation context, an ability context, or any of these contexts, none of those concepts ever were or ever will be true. That men and women are equal, and they have equal opportunities. And even though there's differences in physiology and possibly perspective and hormones, we need that kind of diversity in our equal roles in order to build better teams, whether they're in family, whether it's in government, religion, work, wherever we are, and then specifically for this podcast in construction. Did I do a nice job of that, or did I fail?
Yeah. Well, and I was reading something recently. I don't remember what book it was, and it might have been that book, Anti-Fragile.
Anti-Fragile?
Yeah, I'm not even sure what book I was reading, but it was talking about that. Like, if you take, similar best players or, versus a diversified team, the diversified team is going to win.
Yeah.
So
every time.
What are you fighting for?
Exactly. And
you want to win? I guess that's the thing. Do you want to win? Do you want to grow in construction? You want to be the best?
Exactly.
Recruit women.
And that's the point.
And minorities. And ethnicity. Whatever you call that.
Yeah, so they have it. I think people that are like make fun of, oh, are you woke or whatever, people that make fun of that think that somebody would just bring it up for some political statement or for publicity. But really, it comes down to a couple of different things. We should treat human beings right, number one. Number two, we should use our gifts and talents to elevate people. And number three, if you want to make the most money, you'll have the most diverse teams. Isn't that your point?
Yes.
I mean, besides just it being like a human issue. So, go ahead.
Well, no. I just, like, whatever drives you, if it's money, you're missing out on money because you don't have the best team, because you don't have women on your team, right? That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And if it's what drives you is like respect for others, or, there's just so much, different perspectives bring to the table.
Let me ask you a quick question to put you on the spot.
Okay.
What does it feel like to be, so you are doing a lot to lead this company. You've been in construction before. What, and without insulting me, seriously.
That's so happy.
No, I'm gonna take the podcast down if you because I can't handle it. I'm too emotional right now. Anyway, so like, what does it give us? Just an insight. What does it feel like to be a woman in construction in a business? Like, is it more intimidating, or is it not so much anymore? Is
Well,
it?
honestly, like, it's not really. Now I'm 40 and I don't have a lot of maybe interaction with clients where I might possibly
More on the business side?
Yeah. So right now, well, being 40, I feel more confident in who I am, but definitely like when I was younger, uh, there were times like on a job site where you're going to get something hit on or that sounded cocky. I didn't mean it for it to. Like somebody's going to say something or do something, put you in that position that lets as a woman that they're more powerful than you. It automatically, like fear kicks in, you know, you get that like skin crawling when somebody like leers your way. I mean, so back when I was younger, it was much more prevalent, but I'm in a different role now. So I don't experience really anything that's discriminatory. But I know when I go to the mechanic and get treated like a woman, or when the
Oh, that
air
happens all the
conditioner,
time, doesn't it?
yeah, or when the air conditioner repair guy is basically like, is your husband home? What? No, just that, like
Like
you should
always say,
feel diminished.
I was laughing not at that, but you always say, no, you have to have a penis to do this, I guess, or something. I shouldn't have said that on a podcast, but like, what in the world? Why would he need my husband or your husband?
No, and I've had my brother. Okay, so the car that I drive is actually my brother's. I lease it from him. And after they tell me what it's going to cost, he's like, give me their number right now. He calls, gets a better price because he's a guy and he like can haggle with them. And then you might say, well, maybe it's just because he knows how to haggle or he knows what he's talking about. I don't know. All I know is in the end, I come away feeling less than.
Exactly. And now that you say it, that happens actually way too often. And so, again, I feel like, so my message, and again, people can call me out if I'm on the wrong track, but I want it to be known that it's, when we say women and men are equal, that's not just something we say. Like, that's real. That just is how it is. And there is no historicity or examples or cultures or any truth to any of the past where women were diminished and somebody felt justified for that. So that's number one. Number two, we need that diversity, right? We need to create safe spaces. And I think that was the main point, right? That we need to create safe spaces. We get to create safe spaces for people. And as we do that in construction and make that more normal, we'll have a better industry. And so my message, and I'll give you the last words here. My message is, if anybody ever wants support, advice, help, funding if we have it, job opportunities, recommendations, anything, Katie and I always celebrate when a woman succeeds. And of course she's doing it because she earned it. So that's not even a question. Anytime a woman succeeds in business and construction in a role, we're here to support you. What would be your closing comment?
My closing comment would be like, maybe, what? I don't know. I don't want to get preachy on your pod.
No, go ahead, get preachy.
Like,
so just so you know, those are the episodes that do the best, and I already offended everybody with the Adam and Eve thing. And in case people don't understand that, what I'm saying is the garden story is mostly metaphorical, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was symbolizing our ability to know good and evil and make choices and progress on the earth. And it was a wonderful decision, and it was in no way sexual, and it was in no way sinful. It was 100% a part of the plan. And so I really am just a little bit sad that over the years, the scriptures have possibly given somebody a background or a starting point to be discriminatory. So I hope I didn't offend anybody, but you go ahead and get past it. Okay, you go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm not even going to get passionate. I just, if you see something, like, stop it. If you have a tendency to feel like women are less than, like, get educated. And I mean that in a loving way. Like, figure out why it is that you think that way. Like, dig deep and figure out where your, biases are, or I don't know. And if you see women in construction, maybe ask, how could I support you? Or don't ask. I don't know. Because then that's back to that. I don't want to be seen differently.
Well,
Well,
I'm gonna ask until somebody puts me in my place, tells me to shut up. I'm gonna ask. The image that came into my mind, somebody was being abusive somewhere, and your brother, Jordan, was like, "We don't do that around here," And so if you're a strong man, then what you need to do is support strong women. If you ever see anything wrong, and I'm just gonna say it like that, if you ever see anything wrong or discrimination, we don't do that around here. That's what you do. That's what you say. We don't do that around here. We are 100% safe and inclusive. And so, did I cut you off? Were you good to go?
no, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Do you think we did a good job on this one?
Not really.
Not really? What would you do
Well,
better?
I probably would get all preachy about
Oh,
could Jesus see stuff.
come on, man. They can handle it. If anybody has lasted to podcast 482, don't you think they're used to me by now?
Well, I don't know. I don't listen to podcasts.
Don't say that to people out loud. Anyway, in all sincerity, we love you. We ourselves are almost 100% certified as a women-owned business enterprise because Katie leads the ship over here. And honestly, I value you. And you just bring so much to the table, and we just need more of that. So we are at Elevate Construction, a supporter of women in construction. And if you are annoyed and you think that I am or Katie are all woke and talking about social issues and you're annoyed, then
Call us.
that's awesome. We closed it out good. Anyway, we love you. Let's just all create wonderful, inclusive environments out there. We don't want any drama. We want lots of well-run, Disney-like feeling construction projects out there. And that means that we just get rid of the drama, right? We need to create psychologically safe environments where we can have high expectations and perform and kick butt and make money and go home and take care of our families and really have respectful environments. So one last chance. You good to go? 1, 2, 3. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.